Welcome back to ASEAN Talent, and this time we will focus more after she has finished her bachelor degree from Maryland University College Park from the United States. Well, after this degree, you also pursue master's,
Yes.
right? What is the field of study?
It's totally different because for my bachelor's it was education then family studies, but then for bachelor's it's a program called Mind, Brain and Education, and it's an interdisciplinary degree which are 3 disciplines together: neuroscience, cognitive psychology and education.
Why were you interested in this field of studies?
When I was doing my bachelor's, there were a few theorists that I really like. But the one that I liked the most was Dr. Howard Gardner. And he was, to me, he was so smart and so famous, I thought he was dead. Because usually the very smart theorists, they're usually dead like 100 years ago or something like that. So one day I was on the internet, I was Googling his name, just for the fun of it, and I found out he was still alive. And then he was teaching at a school at Harvard University. So, and then when I looked into the school and the program, I found out this program. So it was through his name. And then he co-created this program. But then I thought, the program is so interesting, why not just give it a chance? Even though I know the chance. And I found out only about 2 weeks before the deadline. So I have only 2 weeks to study for my GRE, which I have not studied at all, because I didn't think of applying immediately after bachelor's. I thought I would take a year break.
And after you submitted all the documents to the university, and when you were waiting for the result, you took your vacation back to Thailand?
Yes,
right.
At the end of the year.
And you went to the southern part?
Yes.
When the tsunami struck the southern part also?
Yes.
How was the tsunami involved with your statement of purpose?
Actually, the sequence, when you apply, it's not like in Thailand where you sit for an entrance exam, but actually you submit the GRE, you submit your grade, you submit your letters of recommendation from your professors, which will go from like 6 professors into Harvard. And then the last thing was the college, the essay, statement of purpose, where you explain who you are. Right. So that one I was writing, and then I rewrote, because it's about 2 pages. But then you have to really tell the university who you are, separate from the numbers about you. So I was writing, and then I rewrote, and then I write again and rewrote for, I think I have 2 months to do that. So and then I have to submit, I think, on the 8th of January. But then during Christmas, I went down to Khao Lak with my friends and my sister. And then we moved to Phuket, and it was a tsunami time. Nobody knew. Like, I had no clue. But then we moved to Phuket. We didn't get hit because we went up to the hill just like 15 minutes before the wave came. When we came down, the wave took away everything. So we lost our friends who were also the parents of the school. So it was the big tragedy. I don't even want to think about it. Our mother came down to pick us up in our car. But instead of going back up, we went to Phang Nga. But then my mother said, let's stop at Phang Nga Hospital to see if we can offer help. And then 3 of us spoke English, and Thai. So instead of going back home immediately, we decided to stay at Phang Nga Hospital for as long as it took, actually about 3-4 days, to translate for the patients. Because a lot of patients, to my surprise, not a lot of Americans. I think I found 1 or 2 Americans. The rest were Europeans, Germans, Swedish, Belgian, people who don't actually speak English as their first language. So, but they spoke English. So we were helping, translating. I changed my view about the Thai, because at that time, I thought that I saw a lot of inefficiency in the help that we got, because I was at the hospital. I look at the news, a lot of money came in Bangkok. People were donating a lot of money, right. But at the hospital, there was nothing. Like, we had to rely on whatever, we had there. So I thought, oh my God, educational in Thailand. I think it was not that good. But in the time of crisis, I thought it was really bad. So I rewrote, after 3 days at the Phang Nga Hospital, I rewrote my statement of purpose and then analyzed the Thai educational system through this situation. So, and then I had to submit within a week. When you submit, you think you don't get it. Like, I think I asked all my friends. At orientation, you get to meet a lot of new friends and friends in your program. And I asked like, did you really think you would make it? They said no. None of them said they think they would make it. I really gave up. I went and applied at Chulalongkorn University, and then I had to sit for an entrance exam at Chulalongkorn University. And then I was sitting, I trained myself for the test. It was so hard. I sit for the test, I wrote, and the break period, I walked out. My sister called from America because she was still in America. And she said, oh, Vanessa, guess what? The letter from Harvard came. I was like, oh my God, is it thin or thick? Because if it's thin, it's like, oh, sorry. But if it's thick, then it includes everything, how to prepare yourself for the program. So I was like, is it thin or thick? She was like, no, let me read to you the sentence. I was like, no, let me wait 1 minute. I was like preparing my heart for it. And she said, okay, I'm gonna read right now. And I said, okay, the first word said, congratulations. So I was like yelling, it was so hard. That was how I found out.
Well, talking about your curriculum, your master's degree, what is this about?
The degree is called Mind, Brain, and Education, but actually it involves, it's called the interdisciplinary program, and it involves 3 disciplines: cognitive psychology, which is the mind, and then neuroscience, which is the brain, the physical part of the brain, then education. So you're supposed to apply these 2 disciplines into the educational field. You don't have to operate the brain, but we have doctors from the Harvard Medical School coming in to teach in class. The final exam, Dr. Garner will have, and Dr. Kurt Fisher, who co-created the program, would have about 8 questions for us, the whole class, and it's really intricate. I don't know how to explain, but the questions, you have to think a lot about it. You have to research a lot. Right. And then he gave us a time frame of about a week that everyone in class can work together. You can pull your brain together, you can talk, you can do whatever, you can exchange information within the 8 questions. And then when the final exam time, there'll be a day, I think the 8th day, he'll email. Everyone can be at home. You don't have to sit in the classroom. It's during the Christmas break. So I flew back to Thailand. My best friend was in Mexico. The other one was in Hong Kong. And then there was one day that he will email you and assign the number. So you would have 3 questions. But you don't know which number until that day. And then after that day, you have 2 days to do your final exam. You cannot talk. You cannot email. You cannot phone. You have to be alone in your house and do the final, which is like a very trusting system. You have to be very honest. And I can see the professors has to put a lot of trust in you. So, and no one talked. None of my friends called. I didn't call them. I did not email them. They did not email me. And 2 days, I was just like in my house doing the final exam. It was the most amazing.
Okay, we will stop at this point. But after a short break, we will focus and talk more about how she can apply her knowledge from her master's degree to improve her life and also improve others' life.
Simple suggestions would be the thing that I know it would be so hard to do, but I have to say, and it would sound so silly and simple, but I have to say it for the people in this rushed society.